The girl who shared her last grain of rice. Amina lived in a peaceful village surrounded by vast rice fields that stretched as far as the eye could see. Year after year, her family, like the rest of the villagers, enjoyed abundant harvest. There was always enough food, not only for their own household but to share with neighbors and celebrate festive occasions. Life in the village was simple yet fulfilling, and Amina spent her days joyfully running through the fields with her friends. Her parents taught her valuable lessons about hard work, kindness, and the importance of generosity. However, over the years, things began to change. The rains that once nourished their crops started to delay, and eventually, they stopped altogether. The relentless sun scorched the fields, turning the once lush rice plants into dry, brittle stalks. The villagers, who once thrived on their bountiful land, now faced the harsh reality of scarcity. Amina's family, like others in the village, struggled to stretch their remaining food supplies. Each day, they hoped for the return of the rains, but as time passed, uncertainty and hunger grew. One evening, Amina's father sat at their modest dining table, holding the last bowl of rice with trembling hands. He looked at it gravely and announced that it was all they had left. The family had to ration it carefully, hoping it would last long enough until relief came. Amina's mother reassured them with quiet strength, reminding them that as long as they had each other, they would endure. But Amina could sense the silent worry behind her mother's words. The next morning, Amina woke up with a heavy heart. She saw her mother preparing breakfast with the last of their rice, while her father went to check the barren fields, hoping for a miracle. As Amina helped in the kitchen, she caught a glimpse of sunlight breaking through the clouds, igniting a small spark of hope. Still, hope alone would not fill their empty bowls. They needed to make the most of what little they had. Later that day, Amina walked to the village market, carrying the last bowl of rice in her hands. On the way, she passed by the village well and noticed an elderly man sitting by the roadside. His clothes were tattered, his face weary from hardship, yet his eyes held a calm and serene expression. As Amina approached, the old man spoke in a tired voice, asking for food. He explained that he had traveled a long way and had not eaten in days. Amina hesitated. Her family was depending on that bowl of rice, and giving it away meant returning home empty-handed. Yet, as she looked into the old man's eyes, she remembered her mother's teachings about kindness and generosity. Amina realized that this might be her chance to truly embrace those lessons. Without another thought, she knelt beside the old man and poured the rice into his bowl, offering it with a gentle smile. The old man's eyes widened in surprise, but gratitude soon replaced his astonishment. With a voice full of emotion, he thanked Amina, telling her that she had given him more than food, she had given him hope. Amina watched him eat, feeling a sense of fulfillment despite the emptiness of her hands. Though she had nothing left for herself, she knew she had done the right thing. As the old man finished his meal, he blessed Amina, telling her that her kindness would not go unnoticed. Amina smiled but knew that her parents might not understand her decision. Walking home with the empty bowl, she worried about how they would react and whether they would scold her for giving away their last meal. When she reached home, her mother noticed the empty bowl and asked what had happened. Amina confessed that she had given the rice to a hungry old man who had nothing to eat. Instead of anger, Amina's mother smiled and held her hand, telling her she had done the right thing. Despite their struggles, Amina's act of kindness filled their hearts with warmth and hope. Later that evening, a knock came at their door. To their surprise, a group of villagers stood outside, holding baskets filled with rice, vegetables, and fruits. One of them explained that the old man Amina had helped was no ordinary traveler, he was a spirit who watched over the village. He had tested their kindness, and because of Amina's selfless act, he had blessed their family with abundance. Tears welled in Amina's mother's eyes as the villagers filled their table with food. The once empty home was now overflowing with plenty, a reward for Amina's generosity. That night, as Amina lay in bed, she reflected on the lesson she had learned. Kindness always finds its way back, sometimes in the most unexpected ways. In the following days, the rains finally returned, bringing life back to the fields. Amina's family planted new seeds, and hope blossomed anew. As they worked together in the fields, Amina realized that generosity was like planting seeds. It required patience and care, but it always yielded rewards in the end. She understood that kindness wasn't just about sharing food, it was about sharing hope, love, and humanity. One morning, while tending to the crops, Amina saw the old man again. This time, he was standing tall and radiant, no longer appearing frail and weak. He smiled and handed Amina a small pouch, telling her it contained magical rice seeds that would ensure their fields never faced famine again. Amina accepted the gift with gratitude and planted the special seeds with care and devotion. As the weeks passed, the fields flourished beyond expectation. The rice plants grew taller, stronger, and healthier than ever before. The once barren land turned into a lush paradise, and the villagers marveled at the transformation. Amina and her family rejoiced, knowing that their act of kindness had set forth a chain of blessings that benefited the entire community. The village celebrated with a grand harvest festival, filled with joy and gratitude. As they danced and feasted, the old man watched from a distance, his eyes filled with pride. He reminded them that kindness and generosity were the true riches of life, and Amina's selfless heart had taught them that lesson in the most beautiful way. As Amina grew older, she carried the story of that day in her heart, sharing it with future generations. The lesson she learned, that even the smallest act of kindness could create ripples of goodness, became a guiding principle for the village. They learned to help one another, share what they had, and trust that kindness would always return in ways they never imagined. In the end, Amina realized that true abundance didn't come from having plenty but from sharing what little one had with an open heart. She had given away her last grain of rice, not expecting anything in return, but was rewarded with a lifetime of lessons, love, and community. And so, Amina's story became a cherished tale in the village, a reminder that no matter how little one has, there is always enough to share.